the story kicks off with a heavy blow. While the news broadcasts a manhunt for Makia, a devastating explosion changes everything. Emerging from the fire and blood, our boy dons his brother's mask, inheriting a legacy of pain and a mission he's not yet ready for. Shifting gears, we see our boy and his loyal dog, Schnee, hitching a ride toward Glory City. The driver, a chatty fellow in a red mask, keeps the mood light while warning them that their destination is far more dangerous than it looks. When asked about his destination, our boy reveals he's there for his brother. The driver laughs it off, warning him that Glory City isn't like the peaceful north here. The blank circle the borders like vultures, waiting for their next prey. Right on cue, Schnee starts barking as a sea of purple figures appears on the horizon. Our boy is stunned. He's never seen so many blanks in one place. It's not just a border, it's a literal ocean of monsters. Instead of slowing down, the driver slams on the gas, roaring with excitement as he charges straight through the crowd. With the engine screaming, our boy can only hang on for dear life as they blast through the purple horde. Suddenly, a blank lunges at the car. Without missing a beat, our boy grabs the creature physically and hurls it away. It's a shocking display of power, considering that in this world, blanks aren't supposed to be touchable by normal people. Near the city bridge, our boy decides to hop off and thanks the driver for the lift. As the red truck disappears into a cloud of dust, he shoulders his pack and prepares to face the desert's dangers on his own 2 feet. Looking out at the towering skyline of Glory City, our boy takes a steady breath while Schnee growls at the shadows. Surrounded by endless blanks, he knows the only way to find the truth is to march straight into the heart of the storm. Our boy and Schnee have officially arrived at Glory City Central Park. It seems bustling enough, but the news reports about stolen faces serve as a grim reminder that danger is never far away. Since they're in a new place, a little treat is in order. After a bit of a struggle, our guy finally scores exactly what he wanted, a refreshing cone of mint chocolate chip ice cream. He couldn't forget his loyal companion, of course. Schnee's eyes light up at the sight of the treat, and he immediately goes into a feeding frenzy, munching away happily. In a quiet moment, our boy gazes at his bandaged hand. It's been 6 months since he left home, and he can't help but feel like he's slowly becoming just like his brother, Makia. But the peace is short-lived. A passing void bumps right into our boy, sending his ice cream flying. To make matters worse, Schnee, ever the opportunist, catches the falling scoop and gobbles it down himself. Looking at his empty cone and his greedy dog, our boy finally loses it, wondering why he's the only one with such rotten luck. Still, he tries to play it cool as soon as he notices the crowd watching. Our boy was just trying to have a relaxing moment in the park, but his peace is literally shattered when a blank bumps into him and sends his ice cream flying. To make matters worse, Schnee was too busy snacking to give him a warning, leaving Rex totally annoyed. Before our boy can even mourn his ice cream, real disaster strikes. A passerby accidentally drops and shatters their mask, instantly attracting a swarm of hungry blanks. The victim is left defenseless as the monsters close in. With the victim on the verge of being consumed, our boy doesn't hesitate for a second and dives straight into the fray. He steps in just as a blank reaches out, providing a desperate shield while the terrified woman frantically searches for a way to cover her face. What happens next leaves the bystanders in total shock. Our boy starts throwing literal punches, knocking the blanks back with his bare hands. In a world where touching a blank is usually a death sentence, his ability looks like a complete cheat code. While the blanks are reeling, our boy tells the victim to keep her face hidden. But his secret is officially out. Everyone saw him hit those things. The crowd is buzzing with excitement, convinced he must be using some kind of high-end anti-blank gear. Our boy is breaking a sweat as the crowd starts calling him a blank hunter. He knows there's no time for fame right now. The blanks are still swarming. He snaps at the stunned bystanders, ordering them to stop staring and find something to cover the woman's face. As waves of blanks keep appearing, our boy continues the fight while directing the newly motivated crowd to help. The sheer number of monsters is insane, and while he's holding the line for now, the real struggle for survival has only just begun. While our boy is busy fending off the voids, OSS screams a frantic warning for him to watch his back. The creatures are swarming in like an endless tide. Realizing brute force isn't enough, our boy knows he must cover the victim's face to stop the possession. OSS quickly tosses over a jacket, urging him to move fast. With no time to lose, our boy charges toward the victim with the jacket. But the void is terrifyingly fast, already looming inches away from the poor girl. A nightmare unfolds as the void's face ripples and twists like a vortex, beginning its attempt to consume the girl's features. She can only let out muffled, terrified whimpers. The attachment has begun, and the onlookers are paralyzed with fear, unwilling to help. Even loyal Schnee gets knocked aside in the chaos as things spiral out of control. Panic erupts as the crowd witnesses the void stealing the girl's face. Desperate and fuming, our boy frantically searches for a way to break the connection. Our boy shouts for anyone to find something sharp, needing to sever the connection to let the girl breathe. But the crowd is useless, offering nothing but screams. In a final act of desperation, our boy smashes a glass bottle. Ignoring the shards cutting into his own hand, he prepares to use the bloody edge to fight for her life. The situation is critical as the void nearly completes its possession. Without a moment's hesitation, our boy dives in, smashing a bottle and driving a sharp shard into the connection point. It's a brutal and bloody move, but it successfully breaks the process just in time. With a sharp gasp, the void is torn away. Our boy collapses to the ground, panting heavily and covered in blood. Fortunately, the victim is stable. Though LYSS is startled by his ruthless efficiency, she realizes he's genuinely saving lives. The ambulance arrives shortly after, whisking the victim away. As our guy tries to catch his breath, LYSS rushes over, full of admiration for his skills. To hide the truth of his curse, he plays along and claims his abilities come from high-tech anti-void gear. The cool moment doesn't last long, thanks to Schnee. The dog swiped a hot dog from a passerby and is now bolting down the street. Faced with an angry victim, our boy has to apologize awkwardly before dragging his hungry partner in crime away. During their escape, they stumble upon bounty hunters cornering an evolving void. Seeing the creature's agony and the hunter's cold, business-like attitude, our boy's expression darkens. To him, this monster still holds the original person's memories and body. Hearing the hunters discuss selling the stolen memories for a profit, our boy's anger boils over. To him, this isn't just hunting a monster, it's desecrating a human life. He decides to step in and disrupts the capture. Our boy uses his powers to shatter the void's chains and lights a fire to create a diversion. The move leaves everyone stunned. LYSS can't fathom why he'd release a monster. But in his eyes, he's simply giving a tragic soul a final bit of dignity. Afterward, our boy says little, quietly helping the wounded bystander. Watching him tend to the wound so gently, LYSS begins to realize that beneath the mask, this boy carries a sense of justice and compassion deeper than anyone else. However, fame comes with a price. Rumors of the purple-masked hunter reach Claude, a high-ranking executive at Bland Corporation. Looking at the reports, he flashes a cruel smile. Realizing the boy's potential, he gives the order to begin a full-scale hunt. Meanwhile, our girl Elizabeth is being haunted by her alarm clock. Despite her reluctance, she drags herself out of bed to start the day. Elizabeth heads to the bathroom, only to find the water pressure is abysmal. She tries to adjust the valve, but the pipes end up bursting on her. After complaining about the things trying to breach the water curtain, Elizabeth finds Desmond in the kitchen busy preparing breakfast. The breakfast looks great, but Desmond immediately notices the bandage on Elizabeth's hand and asks what happened to her. As Elizabeth casually mentions the blank attack she witnessed, Desmond is so shocked he does a literal spit take. This is serious business. Elizabeth isn't shaken at all. In fact, she brandishes her fork with heroic ambition, declaring her dream to become a professional blank hunter. As she dashes off to change, Desmond lets out a heavy sigh. He wants nothing more than to keep her away from such a dangerous path. Claiming a hero's reward, Elizabeth drags Desmond on a shopping spree. But despite the fun, Desmond's underlying worries aren't going away. While our boy is busy handing out organic fruit cups, he runs into LYSS again. She's still clearly fuming over yesterday's events, pointing her finger at him the moment they lock eyes. LYSS vents her frustrations loudly, but our boy can only listen awkwardly. Luckily, Desmond steps in to mediate, suggesting she give the guy a break after everything that happened. Suddenly, Schnee gets agitated and starts growling at Desmond. Our boy has to apologize for his dog's behavior, explaining that Schnee tends to get a bit jumpy around anyone with a void presence. LYSS turns out to be a total dog person, quickly calming Schnee down with a big hug. Just then, the shopkeeper arrives, looking worried that the dog might have attacked another customer. Desmond quickly de-escalates the situation. It turns out our boy was found sleeping on a bench this morning and has been working at the shop to pay back the hot dog Schnee stole. The shopkeeper shows his kind side by handing our boy some extra cash for his hard work. Rex is genuinely surprised by the gesture, as he clearly wasn't expecting to get paid so soon. Learning that our boy is homeless, the energetic LSS immediately invites him to stay with them. Despite Desmond's playful protests, the decision is made, and Rex finally has a place to stay. While the housing issue is settled, Schnee senses something dark on the horizon. His sudden growl suggests that the group's newfound peace might be more fragile than they realize. A new chapter begins as our boy and his crew overlook the sprawling Glory City. The view is grand, but there's an undeniable tension brewing in the air. Just then, a mysterious symbol catches our boy's eye, feeling strangely familiar. But before he can process it, danger strikes without warning. A stray dog lunges out of the shadows, attacking our boy with wild fury. Caught off guard, he finds himself pinned to the ground by the aggressive beast. Luckily, loyal Schnee leaps into action. Seeing his master in trouble, he charges forward to intercept the stray, and a fierce canine brawl erupts in the dirt. The fight is brutal as neither side backs down. Schnee might be a glutton usually, but he shows incredible bravery when it comes to protecting our boy. The chaos leaves everyone stunned. Ellis and Desmond scramble to find something to distract the crazed stray and break up the fight. Furious at seeing Schnee get hurt, Ellis loses her temper. With a sharp crack, the stray is finally driven back, as our boy stands tall with a cold, protective gaze. With the threat gone, our boy ignores his own bruises to check on Schnee. Desmond rushes over as well, making sure everyone made it out in one piece. However, Desmond stares at the symbol on Schnee's collar, seemingly recognizing it from a dark past. Regardless, getting Schnee to a vet is now the top priority. Our boy and an injured Schnee have found temporary shelter at Desmond's. Though Desmond grumbles about playing both nurse and chef, Elizabeth is quick to defend our guy, making the place feel like a real home. Thinking back to when he first got Schnee from animal control, our boy remembers how much of a handful the pup can be. Still, seeing that goofy, happy face now, it's clear why he's our guy's best friend. During their chat, Elizabeth gushes about her idol, the legendary hunter Stella Kingley. Not quite used to being seen as a hero himself, our boy can only sit there sweating nervously, trying to keep his cool. The talk shifts to the grim prison island as an interview with Kingley plays on the TV. As our boy watches the famous hunter, he starts to wonder what dark truths are hidden behind the city's glossy exterior. Desmond finally calls everyone to the table, and the meal looks absolutely incredible. Our guy is blown away by the old veteran's culinary skills, and the warm food is exactly what he needs to finally relax. Over dinner, Elizabeth asks where our boy is from, and he mentions a quiet town up north. But when she asks why he's in Glory City, his expression shifts. Some secrets are still too painful to share. Our boy doesn't beat around the bush, revealing his true motive. He's in Glory City to uncover the truth behind his brother's murder. The bombshell leaves his friends in shock. As the questions start pouring in, our guy feels the pressure and awkwardly tries to steer the conversation elsewhere. Mentioning the suspect makes our boy lose his cool for a moment. Seeing his distress, his companions quickly apologize and agree to drop the sensitive subject for now. To ease the tension, Desmond shares a bit of his past, mentioning a research trip to a jungle military base with Claude, while his tattoo hints at a deeper history. The moment our boy mentions Makia's name, Schnee lets out a warning growl as a strange purple void entity suddenly manifests out of thin air. The void creature moves with lightning speed, striking our boy and catching everyone off guard. The peaceful meal instantly descends into absolute chaos. Our guy struggles in pain, while a terrified Elizabeth panics, realizing the void entity just passed right through her shoulder like a ghost. As the two try to process the terrifying encounter, the scene shifts to a Blandcorp facility, where something sinister is brewing under the moonlight. Inside a dimly lit surveillance room, Blandcorp employees are scouring for clues under heavy pressure. Despite the city's crumbling camera network, they're desperate to identify the figure who attacked their test subject. Suddenly, the footage freezes on a familiar sight. Following the trail of a fleeing test animal, the signature purple cross mask finally flickers onto the screen, and the target is officially locked in. With the identity confirmed, Claude wears a smug, confident grin. It turns out the famous blank hunter is exactly who he's been searching for, and his twisted game is proceeding exactly as planned. The scene shifts as a buried memory resurfaces. Startled by a sudden shout, our young protagonist snaps awake, drenched in sweat from a dream about his brother that felt far too real and suffocating. Sitting across from him, Jericho can't help but tease his dazed expression. The two are hunkered down in a humid jungle base, where the stifling, sticky air seems to drain what little patience they have left. Mentioning the mask brings a flicker of sadness. Due to his father's tragic fate, his mother lived in constant paranoia, forcing him to wear a mask year-round. Now, the pouring rain provides a rare moment of freedom. Tilting his head back, the boy lets the cool rain wash over his face. For the first time, he feels nature's touch without a mask, a rare moment of peace that lets him forget his heavy burdens for a while. Back in reality, our boy is trying to catch a moment of rest in a Spartan room. But before he can even settle, a bizarre, spherical figure appears in the doorway, signaling that a new threat has arrived. Looking out at the city lights, our boy can't help but feel the weight of his brother's memory. Meanwhile, Schnee is just being a total goofball, completely oblivious to the mood. Gearing up to find the truth, our guy prepares to head out alone. He gently tells Schnee to stay put, wanting to keep his loyal companion far away from the coming danger. But before he can even leave, Desmond catches him red-handed. Faced with a barrage of blunt questions, our boy gets a bit flustered and tries his best to explain the situation. Elsewhere, Claude Kastner is losing his cool, taking his frustration out on his desk. Outside his door, the mysterious girl with a paper bag waits patiently for her moment. Back inside, our boy and Desmond sit down for a real talk. Now that they both know their blanks, the initial awkwardness begins to fade away. Our boy asks about his brother, but Desmond questions why he's wearing a murderer's face. Rex quickly defends Makia, insisting his brother was never the killer people claim. As they talk, a grim memory flashes back. The blood-stained clothing hints at a dark past, one suggesting Makia's death was a cold-blooded murder, not an accident. With a renewed resolve, our boy says his goodbyes and leaps into the night to meet Elizabeth. The path ahead is uncertain, but he's ready to expose the city's lies. Under the moonlit sky, our boy is visibly anxious while talking to Desmond. He's worried that his new ally might change his mind and turn him over to the Void Hunters. Our boy wonders why the Voids can't phase through him, but Desmond warns him that walking around maskless without being swarmed would immediately reveal his true nature to everyone. Taking Desmond's stern warning to heart, our boy pulls himself together and slides his iconic black mask back on, ready to face whatever comes next. Meanwhile, Elizabeth wakes up from a restless slumber. Schnee's persistent barking only confirms her sinking feeling that something is terribly wrong in the city tonight. Elsewhere, the mysterious paper bag girl is caught in a heated argument. Despite her scruffy appearance, she insists she's an invited guest of Elizabeth and not just a squatter. Negotiations break down as a dagger thuds into the ground. The paper bag girl swiftly draws her weapon, turning a comedic spat into a deadly confrontation in an instant. Elsewhere, a man in a sharp red suit is venting his frustrations. He's clearly fed up with his current assignment and feels like being paired with his new partner is a personal insult. In the shadows, the villains have already locked onto our boy. The man in the red suit makes it clear. The memories inside Rex's head are far more valuable than any of their lives. While his friend suggests making a run for it, the girl in the paper bag is under immense pressure. The villain's orders are absolute. Bring back the one wearing Makia's face, no matter the cost. Before our boy can even react, a chaotic brawl breaks out. He fights back with everything he's got, but in the heat of the struggle, the mysterious man in the red suit manages to pin him down. The fighting pauses, but the tension is at an all-time high as Makia's name is mentioned once more. Even in this dire moment, Bag Girl pops in to remind everyone to like the episode. The man in the red suit leans in close, mockingly asking if our boy recognizes him. Rex insists on his own identity, but the villain knows he hasn't unlocked Makia's memories just yet. Then, a shocking secret comes to light. Our boy is actually a half-blank, a truth Makia kept hidden for years. The villain watches Rex's stunned reaction, savoring the moment before the final blow. Before Rex can process it all, the villain drops the ultimate bombshell. He didn't just inherit the mask, he stole his own brother's face. The revelation leaves our boy completely frozen in shock. The scene shifts back to a happier time, showing the brothers playing hide-and-seek as kids. It's a glimpse into the innocent life they once shared before everything turned so dark. Watching young Rex clumsily hide in the closet, their innocent banter is heartbreaking given the current reality. How will our boy handle the burden of this stolen identity? Our boy drifts into a bittersweet memory of his hidden childhood. Though he had to live in the shadows as a half-blank, his brother Makia was always there with a smile and a warm batch of cookies. Makia never saw our guy as a burden despite the constant risks. But the day of departure eventually came. As Makia packed his bags for a fateful journey, neither knew it would be their last goodbye. Our boy pleaded with his brother not to take such risks, but Makia's mind was made up. With a gentle pat on the head, he promised that this trip was the only way to secure a real future for them. Watching his brother walk away remains our boy's deepest regret. Now, faced with the cruel accusation of stealing Makia's face, the crushing weight of his guilt returns to haunt him once again. Back in the present, tempers are flaring. While Mr. Perez fumes at Blandcorp's blatant hypocrisy, their masked envoy remains disturbingly calm, watching the chaos unfold with a provocative air. The envoy dangles a dangerous lure, claiming only they can keep our boys safe while revealing the truth behind Makia's death. They even extend a hand in a calculated show of hollow generosity. But Mr. Perez calls out their bluff, exposing how countless others have been trapped in debt by Blandcorp's empty promises. What started as a talk has now spiraled into a heated, hostile standoff. Even as they insist this deal is free of charge, our boy senses the ulterior motives at play. He knows all too well that in Glory City, every gift comes with a price that might cost him everything. Our boy thought he found an ally and shook hands with a hopeful smile, especially with his brother's memory on the line. But in a heartbeat, the grip tightened, and the friendly vibe turned dangerously sharp. Meanwhile, things get eerie as the ex-masked figure looms large, convinced that the full truth is being hidden. Elsewhere, the sound of cracking knuckles signals that more conflicts are brewing in the shadows. The battlefield explodes. Our boy fights like a cornered animal against Claude despite his injuries, but Claude's brutal countergrip pins him down. Just in time, Desmond lunges in with his blade to break the deadlock. The streets descend into chaos as a mysterious spiral-masked fighter crashes the party. Invoking Makia's name, he sweeps through the crowd with explosive force, putting everyone on edge with his reckless combat style. Facing off against the cross-masked blocker, the spiral-masked man only fights harder. Though they share a past with Makia, those old bonds have clearly withered away, replaced by a cold, deadly standoff. At the peak of the frenzy, the spiral-masked man pulls a knife and takes his opponent hostage from behind. With the cold steel pressed against the throat, the air freezes, turning this game of truth into a lethal threat. Tragedy strikes. The sound of steel-piercing flesh rings out as our boy is stabbed straight through the gut. He collapses into a pool of blood, his eyes filled with despair, as he whispers about a nightmare he can't face again. Seeing our boy bleeding out, even his enemies realize things have gone too far. Torn between regret and fury, Desmond rushes to save his dying friend, but time is rapidly running out for them both.